and I'm here interviewing some of the alumni from the acting camp, catching up on stories, and you might be surprised where they are now.
I auditioned for a feature film called Dig Two Graves, which is really like a gothic thriller, dark comedy type of thing, which stars Ted Levine and I. Literally the day I got home, slept for maybe 5 hours, woke up, drove to Oklahoma City where my coach was, and I auditioned for Sean Saves the World, which I'm currently doing right now.
There is something I want to know.
Great. Is it how I'm coping with my new boss?
If you're gay, then how did you and Mom have sex?
What was that?
It's okay. We don't have to talk.
You know, I auditioned and I didn't expect to hear back as quickly as I did. And that day I got a call from casting about 3 hours after they got my video submission. We went to Universal Studios, did the test. I met Sean Hayes, who stars in the show Sean Saves the World. And I've been doing that for the past couple months, and that's been a blessing just for the people I've met. So it's been pretty crazy, but everything I've done, if I didn't do one thing, I think everything happened for a reason. Rejection and then acceptance and the acting camp and my classes and contacts. If it didn't happen the way it did, I wouldn't be here. So I'm thankful for everything.
Done commercials for Walmart and Kellogg's. I've been on NBC's Parks and Recreation, Disney's Dog with a Blog, and then obviously the biggest thing was a movie that I was in on the first trip when I came out here. Actually, it was the first thing I shot, which was called Short Term 12.
I am on the floor every day with those kids, and last night, that girl sat next to me and she cried and she tried to tell me the only way that she knew how.
Grace, it's not your job to interpret tears.
Probably one of the best scripts I've ever read. I connected with Brie just instantly, and I was like, I'm so excited to play off of her character. And then in the 20-day shoot, it was just pure genius the entire time. I was like, this is gonna be fantastic. And luckily, it has been getting a lot of very good reception. It wiped the board clean on South by Southwest, and just recently got released in theaters where it's been doing very well, so things are looking really good for it.
I just recently booked a Trident Layers campaign, the Trident Layers gum.
No homework this year.
Sweet and tangy strawberry citrus.
No Washingtons, Franklins, no Jacksons, Grants, and no Lincolns. Just give me packs of them layers and let the two flavors sink in. I'm popping fat stacks of gum packs, and you know we'll be making it rain.
They paid me in Trident Layers.
No, they didn't.
They did. They did?
I'm kidding. Just
yeah, there you go. See?
Yeah, there
you go. Toss it to her and go, hey, here you go.
Have it.
That's right.
Okay, so you booked the Trident thing, and you just recently have some pretty big news.
Yes, I booked an MTV pilot, a new pilot called Finding Carter.
You know, we always had looked for outlets for our kids to pursue things that they enjoyed, and so he was doing some things with acting, and I had seen him in some of these plays, but really the kind of the seminal change was the acting camp. We got out there, and then I saw him in the showcase, and it was a very professionally, not only professionally done, but kind of a high pressure event where there were a lot of managers and agents and casting directors, but then I see him in front of all these people and all these kids and all these important Hollywood types that I'd never run into, and he was amazing. And it just, it choked me up, and I just stood there going, how's he doing this? I have no idea where it came from, but when the day was over, I was blown away. And so we kind of talked about it afterwards, and I said, if this is something you really want to do, we'll make this happen.
And I'm the parent that was on the fence because I'm like, I'm really already going to LA. Do I really need the acting camp? And I have to say it was one of the best decisions we've made because that acting camp opened our eyes up to a whole new world.
For us, the acting camp was really the thing that got the ball rolling on all of this, on her entire career. And so I think it was the thing that really pushed us to make me think, okay, this is possible. We can do this. And when we left the camp, we really, that was the day we got back from camp is when we started really pursuing this.
If your child has any interest in acting whatsoever, and you feel like this is sort of a dream of theirs and you're not quite certain that it can be a reality, going to the acting camp puts everything in perspective.
First of all, I didn't understand how he was going to get a pilgrimage of industry people to come to Santa Barbara. It's hard enough to get them across town when I work with them locally here. But I got there, and it's this magical place called El Capitan Campgrounds, and I think that's part of the allure. So what ends up happening is Eric draws all these people from around the country, and it's just this space where it's easy for everyone to create. That seems to be the most natural thing, and also have a great time. And then at night it's under 1 million stars, and it's quite remarkable.
And we're coming up on the 4th season. How are you feeling about it? Are you?
I'm really proud of it. And what I love, I think the most about the camp is that I feel like it's good people. We've found a way to create something that I think good people have sort of gravitated towards that. And I am one of the most important people, I believe, of that camp now, is this guy right here. We've been blessed to have so many great coaches at the camp and great people. And with John, I feel like now we really have, we've found that sort of missing piece, that's something where the camp, I truly feel, it has the potential to just grow and grow and
just to be a link in the chain of some of these kids who you have already interviewed. There's going to be many, many more.
Yeah, I would say so, I guess. Things have been going pretty good since the acting camp.
He's really good at this, and honestly, if it wasn't for the acting camp, I would have never seen it, and if I hadn't seen it, I sure wouldn't have raised my hand to do it. So.
Yeah. But there was one specific moment that will always stand out to me, and it's a moment where it wasn't even anything we did at the camp, but it was such a unique thing to the acting camp, and that was when we were doing an industry panel, and I was sitting there, so was John. We had a casting director, a manager, an agent, and we're sitting there in the middle of the panel, some really good industry information, and it was sort of, serious. Parents were taking notes and going, oh yes. And John's in the middle of talking and, talking the way John does, voice. And he's giving some really great information, and then suddenly just stops and looks off into the distance and just says, "It's a deer." And we went, what? And everyone turns, and there's this deer, and then a family of deer just sort of, galloping. Is that what deers do? Gallop? And just kind of going along the mountain. It's what makes the acting camp the acting camp. We're out there in nature. We're a part of El Capitan. We're in this beautiful place, and I'll never forget that. And I think it's one of those things that just really, in my head, will be a moment I'll always remember.